So good day everyone. So I am here to talk about Module 3, Lesson 9 entitled Working with Style Sheet File. So I'm sorry for my voice since I have stuffy nose and a cough. So first let us discuss what is CSS. So CSS or Cascade Style Sheet is a style sheet language used to control the look and formatting of a document written in HTML, while HTML handles the structure content of the web page. CSS is responsible for its visual presentation. CSS is used to control the appearance and layout of web pages. It allows you to apply styles such as colors, font, spacing, and position of HTML elements. So, kaning CSS, isa na siya ka style sheet language na magamit nato na i-link na to sa HTML, which is the structure of our website. And ang kaning CSS is like a blueprint or for our style para maka-apply tag mga colors, fonts to make it more mesmerizing sa mata na to. Dili siya bland tanawon. So, we have a lot of IDEs or mga text editors in making our CSS files. So, you have here Notepad for Windows, Text Edit for Mac, and Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, which is what we currently use, and Atom. So, creating a file is ipangalan mo file, tapos buti mo .css, wala siya. Tapos we have here's basic syntax. So a rule set is a fundamental component that defines the styling of a particular element or group of element in a web page. Rule sets consist of two main parts, the selector and the declaration. Selector targets the HTML elements you want to style. It can be tag name as h1, a class like class name, or an ID like number ID or name, or more complex combinations like div or p tags. We have also the declaration block na separated by semicolons. Here is an example. Mo siya ang atong rule set. Kaning H1 na to, mo siya ginatawag na to na selector. While kaning blue, font size, mo ni content niya. And ang kaning declaration block, mo siya ang semicolon. So, linking CSS to HTML. So, na-discuss naman ni Sir kung saan pag-link ang CSS ato ang HTML structure, no? Sa katong magamit ang link rel, tas style sheet, and then untong unsay pangalan sa imong style sheet.css. Siya. Tapos, we have the placement. So, ang placement aning link na to, dapat siya is naa siya sa head sa ato ang code or sa atong HTML. As you can see here, ensure that the link tag is placed inside the head element of your HTML file. So, as here, nakita niyo sa example na ang ato ang link na siya sulod sa head file. So, we have is the selectors. So, selectors are like instruction to tell your web browser which part of your web page should have a specific style. So, we have the element selectors, or para mas dili ko honest at kuanan niya commercial, apply these styles to every instance of this kind of element. So an example ana is ang kaning paragraph. Kung unsa sud ana sa paragraph, makoloran siya red since nagkuan man ka dirag color na red. So kung i-blue po na nimo ang kana pong letters na under anang paragraph sa HTML, mahimo po na siyang blue. So, next is the class selectors. In CSS are used to apply styles to elements that have a classify class name. This allows you to group multiple elements together and style them the same way. So, mo ni example like highlight, background color, which is ang background color yung may yellow kung unsa ang sa highlight. Pwede po ng P class is equal to highlight. This is highlighted text or kanang siyang individual. No. And next is the attribute selectors. And CSS are used to style HTML elements based on their attributes and the values of those attributes. They allow you to target elements with specific attributes or attribute values. Example, kaning input type is equal to text, and then border 1px solid gray. So, ang ano-ana niya, ang input ana niya, mag solid gray siya, border 1px, which is gamay lang. The next you have is the properties. So, our specific characteristics you can control to change how HTML elements looks on your web page. Each property defines a particular aspect of the element's appearance, such as its color, size, and spacing. So, daghan tag mga text properties no. So, here is we have color. Nagaset of color. Here is an example, paragraph color blue. Next is we have font family. Specifies the font to be used for the text. So, here we have font family, mo na yung keyword, Arial and sans serif. Then font size defines the size of the font. So, kuan, naa siya sa header 2 niya ay ang font size kay 20px. Next is font weight, controls the thickness. Font weight iyang keyword, then bold. Font style kanang normal, italic, ngana. So font style, italic, font style ang keyword, text align, tapos pwede nimo ma-center, justify, and write. Next is text decoration. Pwede underline, overline, or line through. Example ana is sa baba, which is text decoration dash underline. So line height sets the amount of space between the lines of two. Example, line height 1.5. Tapos, letter spacing adjusts the space between the characters in the text. Example is letter spacing 2px. So, text transformation controls the capitalization of text. Example, ani kay uppercase, lowercase, gana. As example, uppercase, tas text transform is equal to, uppercase na yan. Dapat yung ginatawag na to last and foremost, dapat yung ginatawag na box model na. So, the box model is CSS is a concept that describes how every element on a web page is structured and how its size and spacing are calculated. Content, the actual text or content inside the element. So, more katong body itself or the content itself sa sunod sa CSS. Next is you have the padding, the space between the content and the element's borders. Next have the border, a line that goes around the padding if any, or if namoy, padding. And content, you can style this border with different colors, thickness, and style. So, from the word itself, border sa to ang website. So, next you have the margin. So, a space outside the border that separates the element from other elements. This is the outermost layer. So, very self-explanatory na ang margin na. So, that is all. Thank you. So hello everyone, so I will be discussing Module 3 Lesson 10 entitled Selectors, Formatting, Layout, Dynamic Effects with Style Sheets. So, naka-discuss naman ta sa last kung unsa na mga selector na pero ibayat ato diri para recap lang siya. So, nato mga ginatawag nato na basic selector. So, una ni kay element selector, target all instance of an HTML element. For example, mga p-styles, all paragraph. Nani siya, ang unsusunod aning P, ang color ana niya may blue. So we have is class selector applies to elements with a specific class. For instance, highlight can style multiple elements the same way. Next is the ID selectors, targets unique elements by ID. For example, header style of element with the ID header. So kaning combinators na atay duha ka types ani nila, which is the descendant selector, selects elements listed inside a parent. For example, a div p style paragraphs within a div. So kaning div p ko unsa sulod sa div p, example color green ang next example color green po ni siya. So next is you have the child selector, targets their children only. For example, mga UI or LI styles immediate list items of an unordered list. So, muna yung example dere na list style type square changes bullet points to square for direct list item. So, kani siya mayroon bullets ni siya. Next is you have the attribute selector. Selects elements based on attributes. For example, in type text, style all text input fields. So, muna siya na ay example. Next is you have pseudo classes. These allow you to style elements based on the state. For example, a hover changes link style when the mouse hovers over them. For example, anino kaning color red. So pag i-hover nimo imong mouse sa imong giling, which is kanang i-hover, ang iyang color ma-change into kung unsa imong butang dira. So next is formatting with CSS. So formatting in CSS controls how text and elements look on your web page. So we have text properties, which is na-discuss natin niagi, mga font family, font size, text align, and the color and background. We have the box model, which is the example diri. Ang kaning PX, mo ni siya gitag og pixels. Pwede ni siya percent, pero mas highly nice jud na gamiton as ang PX para mas accurate siya sa mga margin, paddings, and border. Next is we have the layout techniques. So display properties na atay tulo ka buok, which are the block. Elements take a full width on their parents' container starting on a new line. Inline elements takes only the necessary width and do not start on the new line. Allows flexible layouts, making it easier to align and distribute space among items. So, napod tayo CSS Flexbox is a powerful layout easily that helps align items with the container easily. So, container mo siya sulod sa, kumbaga, mo siya another sudlanan para sa tuang website nga from the word itself container. So, flex duration defines the direction items are placed in the flex container. It's either row or columns. Justify content, align the items along the main axis, sample center, space, and between. Align items, sample ni kay start, center, or stretch. So we have also the positioning. Positioning properties control where elements appear on the page. Static, default positioning, elements appear in normal document flow. So when you siya default positioning. So next is you have the relative. Position relatively to its original position in the flow. Like example dere. So top 10px moves the element 10 pixels down. So move siya down. Next is what the absolute. The position relative to the nearest positioned ancestor. Example is absolute element position absolute. Top 0 positions the element top of its container. So napaibabaw siya sa container. Next is what the fixed position relative to the viewpoint. It stays in place when scrolling. So mo ni murag kanang dili siya mabungkig. Mo ni siya. We have the sticky mix of relative and fixed. It becomes fixed after scrolling to a certain point. Pero sa mahimo ra siya, ma-fix ra siya if ma-reach na nimo tong certain point ay naging scrollan na. So, sticks to the top when scrolled. Wala siya na example na rin. So, next is you have the dynamic effects. So, dynamic effects enhance users' interaction and improves the overall experience on the page. They can make elements appear smoother and more engaging. So, we have the transitions, allows to create a smooth changes between property values over a specific duration. Sample ani kay button, background color, tas mas smooth yung transition lang. Ano sa example, tas button, i-hover nimo, tas pag ma-hover na imong mouse ato na button, ma-change siya into dark blue kung hover. Then next is we have the animation. So, animation Animation enables more complex visual effects by using keyframes, allowing elements to move, fade, or change properties in a sequence. So, example mo siya at keyframe, fade in from opacity to 0, which is starting transparent or di pa siya makita, to opacity 1. Pag end niya, fully visible na siya. Para more pa-transition ng fade in god. So, mo siya box, gitawag niya animation, tapos fade in for 2 seconds. So, applies the fade in animation over 2 seconds lang. Next is you have the dynamic effects. Next is we have the transformation. Transformations modify an element's size, position, by orientation without altering the document's flow. Moves an element from its original position. So, example here no kaning moves an element 50 pixels to the right. So, position mo move to the right siya. Next is you have the scale. So, changes the size of an element. So, here's an example ng transform scale 15. enlarge the elements to 1.5 times its size. So, mudako siya, i-enlarge niya is also a form of transition. Next is you have the rotate. For the word itself, rotate. Then rotate for 45 degrees, rotates the element 45 degrees. So next and the last one is media queries. Media query allows you to apply different styles based on the device screen size and characteristics. They are essential for creating responsive designs that adapt to various devices, ensuring an optimal viewing experience. And then like ko andiri example, when media max width changes background color to a smaller screen. So how does it work kaning media query? So kani si media magamit siya if itawag na to tong keyword na at media. And then ang kaning max width, which is 100p, this condition checks if the viewpoint if kanang visible ba siya or tama ba siya. And then the body is kaning kato nakita na to na background color na light blue is if ma-meet na siya na condition, the style inside kato na black kay ma-apply siya, changing the color from its body to light blue. So that is all. Thank you.